What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to the final week of the regular season of UNPL Season 6. Last week, our Columbus Swoo Owl House edition kept our magical dreams alive with a pretty big win over Mr. TJP and the Bundle Montreal, thanks in large part to Camila the Magnazone cleaning house and showing TJP why a mother's wrath is never something you want to find yourself facing. That puts our current record at 3-4 with a -1 differential. It's not great, I'll be honest, but believe it or not, we still have a shot at being able to slip into playoffs. We're going to need a lot of help, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to pull this off, it all starts with winning our final game of the season, and the bigger the win, the better our chances. That's not going to be an easy task, however, as we face off with the Twi-Night Slashers, coached by Crepuscul. I sincerely apologize if I'm mispronouncing that Crep, and I hope you don't mind if I shorten it to Crep for the remainder of this video, just to minimize the chances of constantly getting it wrong. Anyway, Crep's team is absolutely terrifying, and there's a very good reason why they've been running through the regular season without much issue. The leader of their pack is a familiar face, because while we've been trying to get Zamazenta-Crowned form going, Zamazenta's hero form in Crep's hands has been laying waste to anything put in front of it. Tornadus Therian is an irritating regenerator threat that can pivot around and hit like a truck if we're not careful. Ursaluna is a powerful force of nature that could crush us with its Guts ability. Screamtail is arguably the ultimate utility mon. And they have 3 Tera captains in Seviper, Luxray, and the incredibly dangerous Iron Crown. Now, one thing I have noticed from Crep throughout the season is that they love running Encore on Screamtail. And I just so happen to have the perfect person to take advantage of that and set up to tear this team down. No more playing games. It's time for Gus to unleash his Double Dance set. I have just enough speed that, after 1 agility, Farigarath can outrun even a jolly max speed Zamazenta, and then I can stack Calm Mons on top of that to not only power up, but also eat hits from all of their special attackers much better. From there, stored power can blow Crep's team away, and I also have Shadow Ball to better address the likes of Iron Crown before Tera, as well as Screamtail. And since Encore from Screamtail feels like the obvious answer here, Gus is packing a mental herb to shake that off and start unleashing his power. Now, the downside to this plan is that Umbreon completely walls this idea, but considering we have Holucha as well as our own Zamazenta potentially lurking, I'm doubtful that Crep brings it, and even if they do, I think we can address that issue and open the door for Gus to do his thing. Speaking of Zamazenta, however, Amity is here to make sure Crep's legendary wolf doesn't get out of hand. I'm running Intimidate in case they bring a more straightforward offensive set, as well as to make Ursaluna more manageable. As well as Rocky Helmet to punish pivoting and quickly wear Zama down, regardless of what set Crep brings. Just to be extra safe, I'm packing Haze to eliminate any boosts, as well as Pain Split so Amity can stay healthy. Barbarage and Crunch or Stab, and I'm also running just enough speed to always outrun a non-Scarf Ursaluna, even with a jolly nature. If Amity has her way, she'll ensure that everything we hope to accomplish this game runs smoothly. Next up, Scara is hitting the stage one more time with a Choice Scarf to hopefully play Crep's Swan Song. Unfortunately, even if I ran max speed, both Tornadus Therian and Zamazenta can still outrun her with decent investment. So a Screamtail lacking Scarf or Booster Energy was our benchmark. Surf and Moonblast or Stab that will punch huge holes in this team, Flip Turn to pivot around, and Psychic to address a potential Tentacruel. Nothing too fancy here, but with any luck, Scar will open the holes we need to score this win. Camila is also coming back once again to help us in this endeavor. Analytic is once again the ability of choice, and we're also rocking an Assault Vest to try and better take hits from the likes of Tornadus Therian, and especially Iron Crown, to wear them down. Volt Switch allows us to pivot, especially once Ursaluna is gone. Thunderbolt and Flash Cannon do huge damage to just about everything. And I'm also packing Body Press to try and further scare Umbreon if it does come. Jolly Max Speed Ursaluna was once again our speed benchmark because I'm willing to not get analytic if it means Camilla can potentially outrun and subdue that big bear if given the chance to do so. She is a vet after all, and no vet wants to see an Ursaluna suffer because of self-inflicted burns just to gain a bit more power. Of course, we need to bring the Noseda who really lights the way, loose, to such a big game, because she's every bit the potential win con as Gus in trying to make this happen. Plain and simple, Holucha is a threat that Crep does not have much for. With Unburden, Luz can even outspeed a Jolly Max Speed Scarf Zamazenta with ease, as well as an Agility Iron Crown if it doesn't also have booster energy. You all know what close combat, acrobatics, and sword stance can do, as well as Grassy Seed and Tera Flying. Luz's final move is Facade, just to guarantee that she's not completely unable to keep fighting, even if I happen to take a burn from Moltres and Flame Body. Rock Slide was an option I considered, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crep brings Charty Berry, predicting the possibility. And Facade at least has potential use to me beyond just a single Mon in case that scenario arises. Especially in case I don't get burned, but maybe end up paralyzed because of Screamtail or Umbreon, if that's how that goes. Of course, I think you all know by now that Willow is our final Mon, since Luz needs the grassy terrain to use those seeds. Adamant Choice Band is what I decided to go with in order to try and hit Crep's team as hard as possible to open a few doors, as very little wants to take a Wood Hammer from her, even resisted. U-Turn and Knockoff are for pivoting and utility, Grassy Glidus for priority, and Willow benchmark to always outrun even a Jolly Max Speed Luxray in case Crep decides to try and bring that. That is the magical might we're bringing to Week 8 of UNPL Season 6. It has been a roller coaster of a season, and even if we don't make playoffs, I still had fun along the way and would love to, at the very least, try to end on one last win for an even record. Because I feel that's the least I can do for a team theme that truly means the world to me and has been so important to my life. Will we be able to pull it off and potentially make some magic happen to slip into playoffs? We'll find out when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time. Let's see what Crep is throwing at us, because we really need this win, preferably big. We have Zamazenta, we have Iron Crown, which is Tera Poison. Interesting. Tentacruel, Tornadus Therian, Moltres, and Umbreon. Little surprised to see Umbreon. I didn't think that would come, honestly. No Screamtail, really? That is kind of surprising, actually. No Ursaluna either, wow! Color me surprised. Curious. I honestly think I'm just going to lead Scara. I know she doesn't... I don't think she would outrun Zama or Torn, depending on how Crep EV'd them for speed. But I should be able to assess the situation, flip turn out, and then go from there. Really curious not to see her... I mean, I know I have Rillaboom, Holucha, and my own Zamazenta, which I opted not to bring because... As fun as the Zamazenta clash would be, again, I kind of really badly need this win in a big way. So, good luck, have fun, Crep. Make sure you guys go check out their side of the battle, give them a like and a sub. And let's see if we can pull this together and pull this off. As Heron Wing, the Tornadus Therian, is in fact the lead. That kind of does not surprise me. So the possibility exists your Scarf. If you're like a standard pivot set, I think I have enough EVs to outrun you, actually. I want to say your Scarf, though, just based on the team that is in front that you have. You could also be Assault Vest. That is also a possibility. I think I'm just going to flip turn out. See if I outspeed this thing or not. and then go from there. Just kind of seeing what information we can get early on in this game to kind of move pieces into place. Ideally, I would need Umbreon gone, so for Rigorath, you do outrun me. That is good to know. That Bleakwind Storm does a decent chunk, but I will be able to chip you down with this flip turn. Alright, so knowing you do outrun my Primarina is good to know. You definitely do have quite a bit of speed investment then. And on that, part of me wants to go into Magnezone, which is actually really free to just Volt Switch all over this team without Ursaluna around. And I can take a Heat Wave. Yeah, I'm going to go into Camilla. And we can go from there. I mean, the possibility does exist this thing is also Scarf. I know Crep has pulled Scarf Torn in the past, in which case I definitely eat a Bleakwind Storm. What would your switch be into a potential Thunderbolt, actually, now that I'm looking at this? I don't know if you'd go Crown. Maybe you'd go Zama? I mean, that's about 76%. So if you're, even if you're AV, a T-Bolt would still do a ton. I think I'm just going to Volt Switch, though. We're going to play this safe at first. Yeah, because you're going to switch to get Regenerator, which makes absolutely all the sense in the world. As you do go into the Umbreon, which does not surprise me too much. I get to chip you down with Volt Switch. And we get to go from there. And I kind of just want to go into Willow, honestly, to scare this thing out. Because I do a good chunk with U-turn. A Banded Woodhammer destroys this thing. Yeah, we're going to go Willow. Not sure what kind of Umbreon you are, but I guess we will see how you deal with this. I do not see leftovers. That is good to know. And yeah, I think I'm just going to U-turn. We're just going to keep pivoting around, doing damage and seeing what happens. Because I wonder if you switch this thing expecting me to be banded, or maybe this is a more especially bulky Umbreon. I feel like Moltres is probably, now that I think about it, your physically defensive Mon. I want to think that's the case because Flame Body is definitely very useful against my team. You protect the Scout, which is absolutely fair. That is very good to know. I'm locked into U-turn, so that is fine. It will still take a huge chunk out of this thing if Crep wants to keep it in. But you are just going to withdraw. Probably into Moltres if I had to hazard a guess. Yep, that looks about right. So this U-turn, even banded, probably will not do a whole heck of a lot. Nope. And Crep does get the Flame Body burn, which it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That was the risk I knew I was running. But I do know I can go into Scara. And with that little bit of chip, I definitely threaten with a Surf. I mean, Tentacruel would probably be the switching in that case. We're going to go Scara. Because I definitely scare you with a Surf. I would think. Plus, that gets Scara some recovery. If you do go into Tentacruel, if I do call that, depending on what kind of set you are, Psychic would do a chunk to you. What would Moltres potentially do to Scara? Not much as far as I can see. I'm going to go ahead and Psychic, predicting the Tentacruel switch. I would also not mind seeing Zamazenta, but no, that is Tentacruel. which is absolutely fine. And I do a really good chunk with that Psychic. I will definitely take that. And you are Black Sludge. That is good to know. So... I feel like Magnezone should be my switch here. Yeah, we're gonna go Camilla. Because I can start scaring things with Thunderbolt at this point. Because, yeah, without Ursaluna, Camilla's looking really good in this game. Flip turn, that's fine. Camilla takes that. Maybe I should have just gone for another Psychic, but it's fine. I am AV, so I can deal with whatever comes in accordingly. And Camilla will get terrain recovery back, which is absolutely nice. I wonder, do you go Zama now? It feels a little too early, but... I mean, I still have Overqwil, which hasn't even hit the field yet. That is, in fact, the Zamazenta. Very good to know. There goes the terrain. Okay. You could just boost up on me. You could also just go straight for an attack. I'm just gonna go straight to Amity. Not even gonna overthink this. Because I get Intimidate off, I can get Rocky Helmet Chip. We can go from here. That is an Intimidate off on this thing. You just go straight for the close combat. Which does not do half, so you are definitely not banded or... See that 236? I don't think it's even Life Orb. You are minus defenses. I wonder if you... I don't think you switch. I'm gonna Bar Barrage anyway, in case you do switch. Yeah, you are. Into Tentacruel, perhaps? Yep, into Tentacruel, which is absolutely fine. Because I get damage off with Bar Barrage. And I will follow this up with a Crunch. So if this thing wants to flip turn out, it takes Rocky Helmet Chip. Which is absolutely fine with me. And whatever comes in next is going to be eating a Crunch. Yeah, Tentacruel, by the looks of things, it cannot do much to me. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's got Toxic Spikes and is waiting until Overqwil is out of the picture before setting them up. That is Moltres, which does not surprise me too much. I think I'm going to Pain Split, actually. I can take a Flamethrower from this thing. It is definitely on the bulkier side by the looks of things. And then we can figure out where to go from here. I don't think I might speed tie with you depending on how much speed you actually did put into this thing. Well, we'll get a decent chunk of HP back, chip this thing down a little more. That's absolutely fine. It's you just U-turn, which is more Rocky Helmet Chip. Amity's just causing all sorts of problems tonight. Which is... there is no argument from me. Yeah, she's getting chipped down, but... I can mitigate that. I do have Pain Split. Zamazenta no longer being able to use Dauntless Shield is certainly appreciated. I'm curious what item it has now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe a berry to protect it against, In comes Tornadus Therian, which I would not be surprised if this thing is Scarfed. Or if it just U-turn... I don't think she'd... I don't think Crep would keep U-turning out, is the thing. So I'm gonna go back into Camilla. That feels like the safest play here. As you actually call that and go for the Heat Wave. Okay. Noted. Noted. I'm just gonna go into Scar in that case then. Let's see if you are Scarfed or just have enough speed to outrun Scara. You missed the Heat Wave that time. Okay. That is fair, I guess. Sorry about the miss, Crep. I mean, Heat Wave would have done nothing against me anyway. I could see Tentacruel coming back in. I'm just gonna flip turn. Sludge Bomb! Okay, you are not Scarfed. Good to know. And that was not a crit. Okay, so you are starting to become a bit of a nuisance. Noted. I almost kind of want to go into Gust now. Bleak Windstorm, Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb. Yeah, this is getting a little iffy here now. Area's at 171. I think I'm going to go back into Amity. Get an Intimidate off on this thing. And I think I'm going to try to Pain Split. Maybe this is crazy, but I think I can live a Bleak Windstorm from this thing. I do live on 3! So this is going to be a huge Pain Split I'm about to get off here. That puts me at 109. I feel like Crep switches this thing out now. I'm going to go back into Scara. If I lose Scara to another Bleak Windstorm, then that's fine. But I really think Crep's going to switch out to get Regenerator. Nope, another Bleak Windstorm. That is unfortunate. Yeah, this Tornadus has kind of become a bigger problem than I thought it would. Now, all things considered now. Okay. Magnezone is at 120. Yeah, Heat Wave I think is a roll. You definitely have a little more offensive investment than I thought you might. I'm going to try going back into Camila. We might have to just bank on the Heat Wave. I need to either switch or maybe Heat Wave either missing or a low roll. But I am going to Volt Switch. You do hit the Heat Wave, which does take out Camila. Okay, so this is starting to not go anywhere close to how I hoped it would. So I think we're going to go into Gust now. Which is absolutely fine. I know Umbreon is a potential problem. I imagine you switch this thing out. I'm going to go ahead and Calm Mind. We're going to test the waters here. You U-turn. Which is fine. U-turn is your last move. If you go into Umbreon, completely fair. Yep, that is exactly what you're going to go into. So this Calm Mind, even if I get to +6, I'm barely touching this Umbreon. So I think my plan... I think I'm gonna pivot into Amity. Try to get a Pain Split off on something. and then go from there. So far, all I've seen from this Umbreon is Protect. As you Foul Play, which Amity takes. That is Rocky Helmet Chip. I'm definitely going to go ahead and Pain Split, get some HP back off of something. This looks bad, but it's not as bad as it could be. I will definitely take more HP off of you. That puts me at 128 now. Which is in range of Oblique Windstorm. So I think my play here, I'm going to go ahead and very likely sack Willow here, just to get my terrain up. As you do hit me with Bleak Wind Storm, which does take Willow out. Okay, yeah, I don't think I'm getting the win I need to, I mean, I wouldn't say I've completely lost quite yet. It's definitely going to be tricky, though. That's going to pop my Grassy Seed, so that is +1 defense. I do have Special Bulk. And I do outrun you now with Unburden, so you... I would imagine you switch, maybe? I'm going to Terrasilize, and I'm going to SD because I need to. I should be able to take a Bleak Wind Storm from you. If you want to U-turn out, that is fine. But I think we can still make this work. I think Luz can still make this work. As I do SD, so I'm at +2 now. As you just U-turn out, which Luz eats. What do you send in on this now? I would imagine Crown, maybe? You go Moltres. Which is absolutely fine. I am going to go ahead and Acrobatics, which should pick this thing off at this point. Do I get burned? I do. Which does suck a bit, but I did put Facade on here specifically for this reason. As you come in now, you are not Booster. That is good to know. If you go ahead and Tera Poison now, I'm going to go ahead and Facade. Which does a chunk. Oh! Oh! Oh, I do not like that. And your leftovers. Okay. Not a fan of that at all. I might as well just go ahead and close combat. It should still do the most damage unless you Terra now. Which, I mean, if you do, then good tech on your part. Yeah, that still does a chunk at the very least. And Calm Mind. Okay. So you are basically going to pull on me what I was hoping to pull on you with Farigiraf. I see where this is going now. I see. I see. Okay. Well, there goes the grass at least. I might as well at least go ahead and CC again. Maybe you go ahead and Terastallize now. No, you do not. That's fine. That is still good damage off on this thing. And you just go Tachyon Cutter, which definitely takes Loose out. Okay. So I am pretty sure a Tachyon Cutter... yeah, it definitely takes out Amity from this range. And unfortunately, Gus can't win with Umbreon still around. I might as well go Gus anyway. Just because. I guess we'll fire off a Shadow Ball, maybe. Don't even live the Tachyon Cutter. GG, Crep. Oh, that is heartbreaking. I wanted to... I had the plan to play aggressive, and I think I hesitated too long in doing that. Maybe I should have just led Gus. So, that is definitely going to be the end of our season. GG, Crep. Good luck in playoffs. You definitely deserve it. We'll just go ahead and crunch to try to finish this game off. A 5-0 loss. Ugh. I had hope. I had hope. GG again, Crep. Again, make sure you guys go check out their side of the video. Give them a like and a sub. They definitely deserve it, especially after mopping the floor with me. This hurts. Not the loss to Crep. I mean, yes, that does hurt, but I took time away. I came back, indulged in a nickname theme that honestly means the world to me because the Owl House is more than just my favorite show. It literally changed my life. So I had hoped to try to invoke that spirit in order to try to reverse my fortunes after my disastrous collapse last season. And unfortunately, it was not meant to be. It is what it is. I still had fun, though, with the teams I did make throughout the season. I still gave it my best shot. And with any luck, hopefully the next UNPL season I will be able to figure out what went wrong and find a way to fix it so I can come back stronger than ever. But, with that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and whenever I return with more draft format action, I will see you guys then. Take care.